Hello everyone, this is a review of the new 2025 Star Wars Black Series Princess Leia from A New Hope. Taking a closer look at the head, it looks really good and really accurate. For the most part, the paint apps are okay. One of my eyes just turned out a little darker, so it looks kind of weird, depending on the angle that you're looking at it from. But overall, it's a really good Leia head sculpt. Not much else in terms of paint apps for the rest of the figure, but there is definitely a lot of sculpt for the wrinkles and everything on the dress. That all is really good. And then some silver painted on the belt, but that's going to be covered most of the time. And then there's like two kind of in the back, but those are also covered as well. I do wish that it was a soft goods dress and not this, plastic, because it just hinders the leg articulation. There's not even point in showing you leg articulation, because you can kind of kick it a little bit, but it's just such a stiff plastic that you're not going to get it to stand up, in any kind of pose like that, unless the legs are just kind of straight like that. I got her to stand while both knees were bent a little bit. It was a little difficult. It looks awkward because of the dress and everything. So you're really not going to get much leg articulation out of this. It's unfortunate. We're paying high price for Black Series nowadays, and at least give us a soft goods, real material dress instead of this plastic. That's my biggest gripe with this figure. I think it does make up for it in accessories and whatnot, and it just looks good, so that's nice. But I guess to show you the rest of the articulation, the head is on a ball joint, looks down that far, looks up a little bit, and I think that's helped out by a secondary neck joint at the bottom, but it's very little. Surprisingly, well, I want to call them butterfly joints, but not really. I think they attempted to do butterfly joints, but you're not really getting that much motion. It goes back a little more than it goes forward, but that's a pretty poor attempt at butterfly joints. But anyways, arms go out that far, down that far, all the way around. One stiff joint for the elbow. Not too bad considering what we're working with here. And then hands are on an up and down kind of swivel like that, and they go all the way around like that. In terms of torso, you get slight crunch forward, goes back like that a little more, and then just a full rotation on the torso, and then that's as much as you're gonna get. Like I said, it's not even worth trying to do the legs. They will go out, but it's like that's not even useful at that point. They do have double jointed knees, which is like, you're never going to use them, so why even give her the double jointed knees? There's other figures that could use the double jointed knees more. She doesn't even need them, but that's whatever. And then just kind of a pivot on the foot. Foot goes down like that, and then up that far as well. Now, one of the cooler accessories you get is her hood. So what you're going to do is just pop her head off like that. You're going to take this hood off, and then put this hood on like this, and then put her head back on while it's inside like that. And then you get the look where her hood is on at the very beginning of the movie, and that looks really nice. That's a really cool feature. And then To finish off accessories, you get her smaller pistol. No paint apps on that, but there's some sculpted detail in there. Not too bad. And then finally, you get the Stormtrooper gun as well, which has slight, let's see if I can point this out with the other gun. Right there, it kind of catches the light. There's like a little metallic silver kind of in there, which is cool. They didn't have to do that, but at least there's some paint apps, you know, on the Stormtrooper gun. But yeah, sculpt and everything just looks really good for that. It's a little bent upwards. That might just be mine. If yours is bent upwards like that, let me know. I don't know if that's just the sculpt or if it just happens in the packaging like that. I'm not sure, but it fits really nice in her hands. And then as you saw at the beginning of the video, the underside part like that. So that looks nice. The other hand doesn't really have a trigger finger, so I mean you can still get the handles in there nicely. But you're probably going to be holding them in the other hand. Couple quick size comparisons here. Here she is next to Episode 6 Luke. Very accurately, she is very short. I think she's like 5'1" in real life, so she's like the shortest Black Series figure you're gonna get, at least for a human. But that's very accurate, so that's fun. She's very short compared to clones and stuff like Hunter here. Like that almost looks like two different scales. If that makes sense, but no, she's just short like that. And then finally here's just Ahsoka. I just randomly grabbed her for comparison. But yeah, really short, but accurate. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.